right, good morning. Rich King here from Propac. We're here this morning with the Generac 17,500 watt generator. We're using this generator in order to power the HVAC system that is used inside the tent. It'll also power all of your lighting systems and any other ancillary electrical requirements that you have inside the tent. 240 volt system. We also have 110 volts if needed. It's all managed on the power panel here. It's got an hour meter that's set up, as well as idle control. This is your breaker for the entire panel, and then all of the circuit breakers as needed. Couple things you want to look at before you start your generator and get this thing hooked up to your tent system. On this side of the generator, we got a couple things to take a look at. One is the fuel petcock here. In the vertical position, that is the off position. If you rotate it to the side, that is now on. So before you fire up the generator, you're going to want to make sure that the fuel position is in the on position. Again, off and then on. Leave it off for now. We also have the battery here. The batteries, we're going to recommend that you disconnect the batteries if it's going to be in long-term storage, or if you have a battery tender of sorts, do keep that on the battery. That'll maintain the life of the battery as the generator is not used. You do want to check the voltage on here in the event that it's dead. You might have to jump it. You can jump it off of a car, a battery pack. Just some simple jumper cables will help you out there. All right, on this side of the generator, you got a couple different switches to activate. The top switch here is the choke. If the generator has not been started for a very long time, it's cold outside, you got a cold generator, you're going to pull that out for first couple of times you fire it off. Otherwise, you can once the generator comes up, you can push the choke in and you'll hear it come up to RPM. The bottom is a de-icer valve. On the de-icer valve, for winter temperatures below 40, you're going to want to pull this out. So you pull that out. If it's above 40 degrees Fahrenheit, you can push that in. This right here is the starter switch. You're going to want to push to engage the starter switch and just hold it until the generator fires off. On this side of the generator, you've got the oil fill located right here. You got an oil filter, and then some general care and maintenance issues. This is a pneumatic tire. Over time, it will bleed air. If you're going to be rolling this thing around, you do want to check it periodically just to make sure that it maintains pressure. But typical fill valve right there on the bottom. All generators require fuel. You're going to put gas in up here. That's obvious. It's pretty easy to open that up and take a look. Make sure you got some fuel in there. Once it's out, you might hear the generator stop. There's also a fuel capacity gauge right there on the top. All right. On this side of the Generac 17,500 watt generator, we've got the breaker switch. This is a 50 amp breaker. When you are starting this generator, you're going to want to make sure that that is off. This is the 240 volt 50 amp plug, 120 240 volt 30 amp plug. You got all the circuit breakers. You've got 10 amps here. This is your idle control, hour meter, all of the breakers, and then 120 30 amp, 120 30 amp, and then your typical 120 volt 20 amp GFIs. Before starting the generator, you want to ensure that it is on level ground. There is an internal tip or movement shutoff switch that will prevent the generator from being started if placed on an incline. You will want to ensure that there is oil in the system, fuel in the tank, and sufficient charge on the battery before attempting to start the generator. Unplug all electrical loads from the receptacles. Open the fuel shutoff valve. Turn the idle control switch off. And move the engine choke knob outward to full choke. Press and hold the start, run, stop switch in the start position. When the engine starts, release the switch. With the engine now running, adjust the choke as necessary for optimal efficiency. If the engine fails to turn over, check the battery connection and voltage level on the battery. To shut the generator down, shut off all electrical loads and remove the electrical cords from the outlets. Turn off the idle control switch. Let the engine run for several minutes to stabilize the internal temperatures and move the start-stop switch to stop. Finally, close the fuel valve. You have now successfully turned off the generator. Use care in moving the generator as the exhaust may be hot for several hours.